Welcome. Grab a plate, pull up a chair. It is the O Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, CW. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to hit that bell on YouTube and subscribe to the podcast on any and all podcasting platforms. That's right, we're everywhere. Make sure to tell a friend or two about the show. It's a 10-minute chill ride talking about wrestling talk. Today, we're talking about the Curse of Bray Wyatt. I know. The man is a constant topic of discussion, but I think in terms of professional wrestling, it's good to be on the minds and the tongues of the fandom, right? I think Bray Wyatt is an excellent wrestler. I think he's a great talent. I think he has a great mind for the business, or at least he can contort and twist the wrestling business to what he wants, right? In a world where stuff like The Undertaker doesn't really fly anymore. Like if you watch old vids of The Undertaker, like his debut and kind of all the crazy stuff he used to do, it was in a time where you can kind of get away with that. There was no internet. People really thought he was a dead dude. Like, I mean, you know, we're all dumb. We're all dumb people who want to believe. And yeah, people thought it was a dead guy walking around with supernatural powers. But in today's more cynical age, it's kind of hard to pull that off. But Bray Wyatt does. He does it in a very intriguing and interesting way, right? Flowers for Bray Wyatt, right? I do like him. And I'm waiting for his character to be released in WWE 2K23 so I can actually use him. I never played 2K20 because it was a trash heap. And I want to use Bray Wyatt in the game. He doesn't come out until July, I think, which stinks. He should have just been in the game. Again, another curse of Bray Wyatt. He's DLC and not part of the main roster. But all that being said, flowers for Wyatt. He's great. There is a curse on that dude, honestly. People say that whenever someone walks into a feud or any sort of angle or program with Bray Wyatt, they come out worse than when they went in, right? No one gets over except Bray Wyatt in a Bray Wyatt program. Recently, I should say. Because when he was the Eater of Worlds, everybody got over on him. I mean, the man couldn't stack a win. You know, like they would book him in matches where you're like, no, he's going over. He's going to win. And he would lose. And you're like, well, what was the point of the whole program? He talked such a big game and then they made him lose. Again, that was probably a no chance situation. I don't know. Specifically when he faced The Undertaker, I think everyone was like, well, good. Taker's going to pass the torch to the new generation of supernatural wrestlers. There's rarely a lot, and the ones that kind of stick around are, you know, the ones who are attractions, they're draws, you know, and I think Bray Wyatt was very much poised to be the next incarnation of the, you know, quote unquote Undertaker attraction, where he kind of exists in his own bubble, the same way Kane and Undertaker sort of existed in their own weird supernatural bubble away from everybody else. But yeah, he lost that match too. And I don't know what happened in the interim, but when he came back as The Fiend, which again, when that debuted, what a fantastic gimmick. Oh my goodness. The idea of an alter ego of, you know, this kind of shell of a person who was Bray Wyatt, who was very happy and putting on a brave face, but then all the feelings that he locked up became a whole different personality that would, you know, trash people. What a great angle. I mean, talk about, you know, using your supernatural stuff and kind of framing it in a very real condition. You know, that's a thing that people do. The execution was, you know, not great. There's no reason that the lights should be red when he comes out. He should just be a guy, you know, but whatever. It was all to sell. It's a carnival. They're there to sell a product. But when he came back as The Fiend, I don't know what, like, did he sell his soul to a weird mask in a carnival somewhere? But everyone that he gets into a program with just gets absolutely buried. Let's go down the list. I think one person who came out unscathed a bit was Randy Orton, because he is a legend. He is, let's be honest, Randy Orton is one of the best to ever do it. He came out of that a little bit of stink on him, but again, he's Randy Orton. He could walk away from anything and be cool because he's friggin' Randy. Alexa Bliss, she went into a program with Bray Wyatt as like a Sister Abigail proxy or whatever, his own personal Harley Quinn. And when he was fired, she was left to pick up the pieces of that angle, and she did her best, as Alexa Bliss always does. And to this day, she's still trying to crawl out from underneath that angle. She just can't get any momentum. She took some time off for, I think, health reasons, and she was on The Masked Singer. So when she comes back post-WrestleMania, or during WrestleMania, who knows, hopefully she's kind of shed a lot of the Bray Wyatt stuff off of her. But again, she lost her match to Bianca in the Royal Rumble easily. There was no like contesting it. She's still kind of holding on to that Lily and Uncle Howdy stuff. She's still tethered to this stuff that's not getting her over at all. LA Knight, he went into that program with Bray Wyatt when he returned and did, I would say, 95% of the work to sell that angle. He came out every week as a human person with a microphone and cut promos and did his job and looked terrified and got beat up backstage, and he made the most of it. Look, go back and watch LA Knight's performance during that entire angle. He killed it. He did a fantastic job. The man deserves all the flowers. He's gonna be a crazy star in WWE if they just let him, right? And it seems like they are. They put him on weekly. He's becoming very much like Chad Gable, just a utility player who just gets matches every week, or at least they hand him a mic every week and say, go out and be you. Fantastic. He didn't come out very great after that match. He got buried by Bray. He took a poorly angled elbow drop from nobody. Came out the next week completely fine. Didn't acknowledge what happened at the pay-per-view. And now he's kind of floating, waiting for a match at WrestleMania. Who knows if he'll get one? I hope he does. But the curse continues with Bobby Lashley. Now Bray Wyatt is injured. Prior to that announcement, he was put in a program with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Whoever wins that Elimination Chamber match between Brock and Bobby, I'm taking them on at WrestleMania. Again, who knows why? There was no explanation as to why he targeted them. But now he's injured, and Bobby Lashley is floating again. He didn't even get to do the angle with Bray Wyatt, and he's already lost his spot at WrestleMania. How ridiculous is that? The curse has extended to people who's just mentioned an angle with Bray Wyatt. Now Bobby's on the outside looking in, waiting for a person to wrestle, an opponent for the biggest wrestling event of the year. And, Bray Wyatt's nowhere to be found. The last thing Bobby did was put a hurtin' on Uncle Howdy, who is a character that is still confusingly nebulous and vague, and I have no idea what their motivation is, nor their relation to Bray Wyatt, or it doesn't make sense. And the fact that he took, I think it was a spear from Bobby, and then he disappeared, and now Bobby is on social media bigging up a match that's not going to happen. There's rumors that LA Knight might take his spot, and you know what? Good. I hope Bobby Lashley and LA Knight get a WrestleMania spot. Now, Bobby's going to definitely squash his ass, but I guess if you get squashed on WrestleMania, it's better than not being at WrestleMania at all. So I hope for the best for those two and anyone else who gets in a program with Bray Wyatt. Hopefully, when he comes back from this injury, he's a wrestler. I want him to wrestle in WWE instead of just be spooky and then bury everyone that comes in contact. What do you think of the Bray Wyatt curse? Let me know in the comments. Are you a fan? I hope you are. Thanks for listening, and don't you ever forget.
I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you. Don't you know? Yeah.